Don't try it, Anakin. You're just a mid-gamer. Greetings and hello there, everyone. It's me, your Star Wars dad, your erstwhile Star Wars dad, Nooch Too Good, here with a video I've been contemplating and trying to figure out and work through. You know, I've always got these ideas in my head for videos, and sometimes it just takes time to work up to them and figure out how to structure it. I wanted to make like some kind of farming guide or advice guide or farming advice guide for like every level of the game, and because it's always like every farming guide is geared toward the brand new player, but you're not all brand new players. You guys are all different levels of the game. Your new players, your early gamers, your mid gamers, your new hyperdrivers, your late gamers, and so you're all level. How can I give advice to? So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna do this for everybody. We're gonna give like high level advice for every single level of the game for farming, fleets, Grand Arena, TBTW, raids, and mods to the best of my ability. Now, I'm not going to be able to get into super deep weeds details of this. We're gonna get into like really high level advice. I'm going to pull up a different account for each level of the game so we can really take a close look at it and see what those accounts look like at the different levels of the game. And who's going to be taking us on this journey? Well, of course, it's Professor Nooch. Professor Nooch will be guiding us through with new players, early players, new hyperdrive players, all the way to end gamers to talk about the farming fleets, Grand Arena, etc., etc., etc. So, let's start with our very first group, a group of new players. And your new player will have an account that looks something like this. This is Nooch 2 Jabba, my Jabba the Hutt Rush account. You can see I'm at level 77 right now. I'm farming some geos, I'm farming my Imperial Troopers, I'm kind of farming Jabba requirements in the background. But when you're that new player, you're looking to develop stuff. If you don't buy the Hyperdrive bundle, you're playing through to level 85, you need a team that's going to get you through Galactic War every day. My perspective, that's Imperial Troopers is what you're looking at for farming. It's Imperial Troopers, and you're looking at fleets of geos, so you get your geos up. Along with the geo ships, when you get to level 78, you need to have a 5-star Executrix. You need to have 6 5-star ships to go along with that in order to get yourself Zeta mats every week when you get to level 78. That's really important. That's your focus in fleets, along with, hey, I'm able to climb into the top 50 of Fleet Arena about half the time with my fleets right now, free to play. So farming, looking for those Galactic War teams like Imperial Troopers, Basilisk Shan Jedi, that's a great Galactic War team. Some people like Phoenix early on, but they kind of fade pretty quickly for all levels of the game, including Galactic War. Grand Arena, it's just prep at this point. I'm trying to get ready for, I'll have a Geo team out there on defense with my Geo Brute Alpha. I need a Zeta there. I need a Zeta on Merciless Massacre for Vader. That's going to be one team I'll have out there, just Vader by himself. I'll have a Zeta on Admiral Piet's Emperor's Trap to make my Imperial Troopers really go, and then we'll have to work out some teams from there, maybe a CLS on the side. We'll see what we work out for there for Grand Arena. Fleets are always a challenge for new accounts at Grand Arena, but if I can get that Geo fleet up and running, at least I have something for offense. TB and TW is limited right now. I'm in a guild that's doing Hoth territory battles and territory wars. You want to get into a guild that's doing as much Hoth as possible. You want to get those Rebel Officer Leia Organa shards, those Rolo shards for your roster. Let me see if I can pull those up right now on this account. Nope, you can't see them. So I've got some Rolo shards I'm getting every other week, and I'm getting I don't know what I'm getting, but you know, Hoth territory battles, territory wars early. When you're early in a game like this, you get into a decent guild, you're just going to be putting teams on defense just so you can get your points, right? You're not going to be able to compete. I can't contribute much on offense for my guild, so I just get a couple teams on defense, get a fleet on defense. They're okay with letting me do that, and they do all the heavy lifting in territory wars. Raids, again, I'm not really doing much contributing there. You're really looking probably for anywhere from the Rancor pit to the HAAT to maybe the Heroic Sith Raid when you're early on. If you get into a guild doing Heroic Sith Raid, mine is doing the 6-star Heroic Sith Raid right now. I just jump in there, get some points. Doesn't really even matter. I can't even get personal rewards in that raid. You're a ways off from Crate Dragon. You really got to be in the mid 100 millions before you get into Crate Dragon on your team. And mods, hey, I'm just working on mods. I'm just working on my mods for my characters. You see right now I've got a character like Tarkin with a full mod set because Tarkin is at the top of my fleet. It's the same for the Geos. The Geos are my top fleet right now, so I've got them with full mod sets. But then I have characters like with my Imperial Troopers, like Dark Trooper down here. Dark Trooper, I got a full, actually I do have a full offense mod set on. That's really nice. I didn't know I had that going. Not great mods, and there's no speed secondary there. There's a 5 speed there. Nothing really to get, oh, there's a 14 there. That's kind of exciting, actually. You can do really well with mods early on, apparently, and if you just try it, level 77. I got somebody here. Let's take a look at, like, Iden Versio. Now, I got Iden Versio. She leads my Imperial Trooper team a lot because her leader ability is better than Veer's, actually, until he gets his Omega. But I'm just going with the speed mod on her early on and developing my mods. I just farm mods every day. I can't even farm slicing materials. I'm just farming mods every day. And again, here are my ships, these 6-star ships across the board with the Geos. And if you want to see how this account is doing, go look at my Jabba the Hutt farming. I'm doing a weekly update on that. You should be able to find it on the channel. There's a playlist and everything else. That's your new player account for right now. Professor Newt's teaching you about the new player, but let's move forward. Let's move forward to the early gamer and see what an account like that looks like. And it looks like this. You've got a 2.6 million account here. Now this, I think, was a hyperdrive. Yeah, it was a hyperdrive bundle, but it's still an early game account. You know, you're in the early game from my perspective until you get to that 4 million galactic power level. When you open up Proving Grounds, you open up Hard Conquest, you probably got a GL, you're close to a GL by then, or you got at least the Executor. That's when you really get to that mid-game level, but this is still an early account at 2.6 million. You can see here there are no 7-star capital ships. This guy's working, I know I talked to him today, he's working on getting a General Anakin Gas, General Skywalker, so he's farming for that. He's already farmed a full Jedi Knight Revan team here. He's farmed a Shock T Clones team. Gas will take the place of that soon. He's got a Bounty Hunter team. He's got Wampa in there. Able to farm a bunch of stuff here at 2.6 million. And in ships, he's going to be going for Executor here very soon, a Relic 8 Boba Fett. Dengar's up there, Cad Bane, IG-88, and working on Piet, I'm sure, down here. Got a bunch of Gear 12 stuff as well. That Gear 12 stuff can kind of help you in early rounds of Grand Arena. It's stuff you want to finish later down the road for your farming. After you do a big farm like Executor, you stop, you come back, you finish some farms, and you move on to the next thing. Fleets, again, we're looking at a bunch of 6-star ships. This is a person at 2.6 million, a hyperdrive bundle, well into the game at this point, but still looking at 6-star capital ships. So the fleets he's going with, right now you got the TIE Bomber there at 5 stars, the TIE Fighter at 6 stars. Going with this is a great early fleet to have. If you can put the Bounty Hunters out there with the Executrix, you know, these are the guys that go with the Executor eventually, but if you can put them out there with the Executrix or Thrawn early, they can really carry you through fleet arena. It's a great early fleet to have. I'm surprised there's no Geos here, but that's more likely. You're more likely to see that with a hyperdrive bundle than with a person that started from scratch. Geos early on are the most accessible early fleet to get you up in Fleet Arena. Grand Arena here, where was this guy in Grand Arena? Let's go back and take a look real quick. Grand Arena sitting at Bronzium 4. That's a great place to be for an early game roster at 2.6 million. Pulling into Bronzium, getting some better rewards. The higher you go in Grand Arena, the more crystal rewards you get on a daily basis, and at the end of Grand Arena. TBs and TWs right now, this person should be looking at a Geonosis Territory Battle Guild. At 2.6 million, with this many characters on your roster, you should be in a Geonosis Territory Battle Guild. Now, one drawback here is he did not farm the Geos, so that's kind of a setback here. A GOTB guild might look at that and say, we don't want you in here because you can't contribute to the Watt mission to getting us Watt shards. However, I do think a lot of guilds will still take you for those GOTBs because you've got multiple light and dark side teams in here that'll be really successful in territory battles and in territory wars as well. This would be a great roster to take in there and get with a 125, 150 million guild that's doing a lot of work in TB and TW. Raids, at this point, you might be getting a Crate Dragon raid. You know, you could be in a Crate Dragon raid team at this point, although I don't see a lot of teams that will qualify. I do see Jedi Knight Revan. You can get your Old Republic out there. You can maybe get some Mandos out there. I don't know if the Mandos are really doing it for me. Let's pull them up here real quick and see. Mando would be the button to click there. This team could do some, maybe not. Not a lot of work there, but you do have the Old Republic team. and I think that's gonna be it. I don't think there's a lot of Hutt Cartel in here either. Well, Boba Fett, just a solo Boba Fett right here would get you 179,000 or so. Damn it, that's what I get with my solo Boba Fetts against a crate. So there could be a crate dragon raid here. At worst, you'd be looking at heroic Sith raid, but I think you can get into a crate dragon raid that's doing GOTB and GOTW at this galactic power with this kind of roster. Mods, hey, you should be well into your mods by this point. Looking at a full crit damage set here on Boba Fett with okay speeds, 13, 11. These are decent speeds for any Boba Fett at any level. If we look at, let's look at another one. I always look at Darth Vader as always a good barometer on mods to me. And here's a crit damage set with a 32 speed, of crit damage with 14 speed, potency with 21 speed. This person has done a lot of work on these mods and has done a really great job. You can have 4 or 5 or 6 really nice mod sets in your characters at this point. You could probably use some more 6-dot mods, but man, having this speed is not bad on a Rex at this galactic power. So you're getting your mods really developed, pushing forward into a GOTB guild that's doing well in TW and TB, and that is your early gamer roster. Now let's float our way into that new hyper, the hyper new player. Make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. Make Mrs. Nooch happy today. That hyper new player has opened up the hyperdrive and is pretty new with it on their roster, and they're starting to develop stuff but don't have a lot of stuff developed yet. You know, the challenges of the hyperdrive account, when you just open it, you're not going to have any mods. You're going to have a bunch of 5-star characters but not be great. Hey, one recommendation that I recommend really strongly, what you should do with the hyperdrive bundle, you should play the game for anywhere from 3 days to a full week. Don't cash in the achievements at all. None of them. Just play the game. If you're new to the game, you'll get used to it. If you're not, you'll gather up a bunch of extra crystals, extra materials, extra stuff. Do not cash in your achievements, because then when you pop that hyperdrive bundle, but 3 to 7 days, you can use all your achievements afterward to get a 7-star Darth Vader and relic him as fast as possible. But if you cash the achievements before you do the hyperdrive bundle, you will not get those extra Darth Vader shards. You do not get extra shards of characters on the hyperdrive bundle. You only get them to 5 stars. So do it early, play early, but don't cash in those achievements so you get that 7-star Vader. You can see here there's an early farming to relic characters. Really got a strong relic Darth Vader and Palpatine up here. Got some other G12 working on the Geos on this roster. Got some, yeah, got the Phoenix up, which isn't really my choice, but this has helped them to get Thrawn and Palpatine there. Got a Gear 12 Moff Tarkin. Working on the ships. What do we got for ships? We got a Phantom and Ghost. Now, I'm going to recommend one thing here that I don't see happening. I really think you need to work hard on your ships. Don't neglect your fleet. Just because you open up the hyperdrive bundle and you got a bunch of 5-star ships, farm those ships. I think almost every hyperdrive account should be pushing toward the Executor as fast as possible. That's going to be your Slave 1, your Xanadu Blood, your IG-2000, your Imperial Bomber, your TIE Fighter. Those are the ships you should be farming off the bat. The ships that are needed for the Executor. You should be farming your Bounty Hunters, your Geos, Bounty Hunters, Imperial Troopers are what I recommend. We got some CLS action here. Vader is always a must-have with that Merciless Massacre Zeta. This has all 3 Zetas. Here's an offense set. This is not a bad little set for an early hyperdrive. There's not a lot of speed here, but crit damage, potency there, and an offense set. Well, actually, I take it back. It's not an offense set. I missed it. They need to work on their mods a little bit here. You should have a full set of offense on here if you're going to do this. I do like the crit damage. I do like the potency, but get a full set of mods. Even early in the game, you should work to have full mod sets on your characters. Once again, we see it here. 2 speed, you know, they should have a full speed set and a potency cross. Go look up those mod sets at swgoh.g. This one's a little lacking in mods, and unfortunately has invested in some 6-dot mods that really don't fit on these characters. But you can do a lot of farming here. Hey, and you're in Grand Arena right away. I separated out the hyper new account from the early account because it's kind of a different feel and it's a different experience. You pop that hyper, you're in Grand Arena, you're already playing, you're already in the early game, playing Grand Arena at level 85. The Geos would be a great defensive team here. Darth Vader's a great offense team. CLS can actually do a little bit of defense here or a little bit of offense for you. Early enough, believe it or not, they can really do some work. Mara Jade with Palp and Vader could really, and Tarkin could really be effective on offense, maybe even on defense. Some options there. Hey, a Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron would look really good with this Jedi Knight Anakin. This person should probably go get themselves a Wampa or a swgoh press with an Omicron as well. Fleets, like I mentioned, don't neglect your fleets just because you have a hyperdrive bundle. Get in there and farm your fleets. I recommend, like I said, if you're doing hyperdrive, get those bounty hunter ships up and running and get them working. Farm that Houndstooth every day. Farm Bosk every day. You have to have those guys on your roster. TBTW, you're probably going to start off in a Hoth territory battle territory war guild, but as you progress, you're gonna progress a lot faster. Probably within 3 to 4 months, maybe 5-6 months, you can get into that guild doing Geonosis territory battles. And if you get your Geos farm like this person is, we got 3 Geos and working on the other 2. When you get your Geos up to gear 12 where they're capable of doing the Watt mission, you could probably get yourself into a Geo territory battle guild pretty early on with a hyperdrive bundle. TW. You know, just be prepared for it. When you get that GOTB guild, you're probably in a guild that's doing pretty good in TW as well. Raids, you're probably looking at a heroic Sith raid early on. When you get in that GOTB guild, you'll probably be in a Crate Dragon situation. You got to maybe be prepared for that, but as we've seen, the raids are going to be shifting in and out every 8 to 9 months anyway from the looks of things, so you really can't farm for the raids at no point of the game we've seen so far. New players, early game, hyper new, you're not going to be able to farm for the raids. The raids are not going to be at the top of your list. If you can get a team that's in there and you get lucky and hit on a team, great. Maybe farm up a team that's small just to get some personal rewards, or if your guild requires it that you get into, okay. But right now, you don't want to be adding things for Crate Dragon when the raid's going to change here in a few months. So just keep that in mind as you go. And the mods, the same thing here. We took a look at the mods. Could really use some work on the mods. Make sure to match up your sets as much as possible. Click on this square here. Go to swgoh.gg. See what's going on with the mods for a hyper new player. Now let's move forward from hyper new. Where are we here? Here's the button. Let's move on from hyper new and let's take a look at that mid gamer. And here is that mid gamer account. You know, 5.9 million. Really, like I said earlier, you hit the mid game when you hit 4 million galactic power. You open up hard conquest. You open up proving grounds. You probably got a galactic legend, or you're on your way to a galactic legend, or you may have an executor, or you just got a really nice round roster with a bunch of the core teams. You know, you got a lot of stuff going on. When you get above 4 million, you got proving grounds open. You know, so we're 6 million here. We got 1 galactic legend. We got Star Killer on here, Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan, General Skywalker. We got Imperial Troopers. We've got Mara Jade. We got Wampa. We got Wat Tambor. We got Thrawn. We got swgoh press for ships. We're looking at TIE Advance. We're looking at a fleet that's moving its way toward the exec hat. We got a 5-star executor in here. We got a full negotiator, a full malevolence. Let's take a look at that full separatist fleet. Here's a full malevolence separatist fleet. Here is a full galactic, I'm just guessing, a 6-star Y-Wing, but a full Galactic Republic fleet beside that. You've got a lot more completed on your roster, but you're not to the late game yet. You're still in that mid game because you got 1 Galactic Legend, maybe pushing your way toward 2, maybe 3. That Star Killer is basically Galactic Legend in Grand Arena on offense when you use them. Maybe on defense against the right rosters. So you're at this point, you've got a lot of stuff on your roster. So now you're really farming. You're targeted farming. I got Kylo. Now I'm going to go get Jedi Master Kenobi. When I finish Jedi Master Kenobi, I'm going straight into Lord Vader. I'm going straight into Jedi Master Luke or Jabba. You can plan out your farm for the next year by looking at just Galactic Legends or farms like the Inquisitors, or Dr. Aphra or stuff like that. You know, farms are going to be doing Star Killer maybe is somebody you got to get on your roster. You're looking at proving grounds, trying to get guys like Darth Malgus in there. There's no Darth Malgus here. That'd be a great addition to this roster. I don't see a Darth Malgus anyway. Let me make sure I know what I'm talking about here before I just spewing things. Yeah, no. So once you get Darth Malgus from proving grounds, you're just sitting really much prettier in Grand Arena and for this roster. You go get Jedi Master Kenobi, then you get Commander Ahsoka. So a lot of things you're building, but you've rounded out your roster. It's really sitting where it's going to be sitting pretty for a while. Now you're going to go after those big farms, Galactic Legends, Jedi Knight Luke, General Skywalker, Star Killer, Inquisitors, getting those big stuff. You're going to get the Executor, the Profundity on your roster at this point. You're in the mid game. You're doing hard conquest. You're doing proving grounds. You're having success in Grand Arena. This account is actually a Kyber 4 account. I can't believe it. I got to go look this account up and see how he's pulling that off. I think Star Killer is a big part of that. But I got 2 GLs. I should be able to find my way to Kyber and eventually here as well. But Grand Arena is something you should be performing well in because you've got great mods at this point. You've got plenty of time to farm mods. You put a big speed set on Kylo at 189 with critical damage and offense on him. Is this an offense cross? It is. You've had plenty of time to learn the mods that should go on your roster. You've looked at swgoh.gag. You've watched me play Grand Arena. You've played your own Grand Arena. You've learned from your mistakes. You've seen how other people mod their characters. You've seen people mod gas for protection and speed and offense and defense. You've seen what it can do when you play against it and you change the mods on your guy to match that. You've learned from all the resources out there, the modding videos, the modding on Reddit, everything. So your mods are looking really, really good by this point. You're doing Rise of the Empire territory battles with your guild that's somewhere in the 250 million range. You're winning TWs because your guild is really organized and you're paying attention and you know what's going on. You know how to play the game. Your raids, you're doing that Crate Dragon raid or eventually that Endor raid. You got teams for that like Old Republic. You've got Mandalorians on this roster. Let me take a look at the Mandalorians here. You've got these Mandalorians. You can throw a Hutt Cartel out there. You can throw Jabba out on a solo again. You know, you've got the Old Republic. You've got teams you can throw out there. Let's see if those Jawas are doing. No Jawas. But you can easily gear up your Jawas to gear 12, put them out there on a team like this, or your Ewoks once you get to the Endor raid. You can do a lot of great things on this mid-game roster. There you go. That's a really great mid-game roster you've been looking at. Let's take a look at a late-game roster, boys and girls. The late gamer is looking sharp. 8.4 million galactic power, 5 GLs, no Rey, no Jabba. You know, you're expecting to see 7 GLs on that end gamer team, so it doesn't quite fall into end gamer status. We look here, we've got the Profundity, we've got Executor, no Leviathan yet, so, you know, not somebody that's going out there and popping these big journeys on day one, but somebody that's farming their way toward them, you know, targeted farming, making sure they know exactly what they're farming. They're farming toward one thing at a time, focused in, dialed in, getting it done. When you're in the late game, you've got the 5 GLs. You've got, let's see here, we got Maul on the roster. We got Commander Ahsoka. We got the Wampa at Relic 7. We have Dash Rendar, so we're going to have Starkiller. Did I miss Starkiller? We got Jedi Knight Luke on the roster. You've got a lot of things going on your roster, a lot of positives going on your roster, but there's still some things that are out there that you need to work on. Things like your Inquisitors. You don't have those quite done yet. You probably don't have somebody like Dr. Aphra. You don't have Cal Kestis. There may be other journeys you're missing as well, some that you haven't gotten along the way. Maybe your resistance don't look too sharp because a lot of people really don't farm resistance these days. You're not ready for Galactic Legend Array. You got one resistance team here. You don't even really have a resistance team to put together, to be honest, because these guys go with other teams along, you know, so your Jedi training raids are saying they're useless, but you've got a lot of great teams that you're using in the late game, but your farming is targeted toward one or two specific things. Your fleets are looking great. You got both the Executor and the Profundity, 2 of these late game fleets. You've got a great, I'm gonna assume this is a great Separatist fleet. There's a full Separatist fleet. There's going to be a full Galactic Republic fleet with your Negotiator. There it is. You got these fleets filled up. You're in the late game. Grand Arena is something you've got plans for. You've got your Wampa. You should have Savage Opress down here, I'm assuming. You got your Malgus there for Grand Arena. Starkiller for Grand Arena. Does he have a, did I say I meant Savage Opress. Is Savage Opress out there? Where is Savage Opress? No Savage Opress. Well, there you go. That's why it's a late gamer, not an end gamer. So there are some things you don't have on your roster, but you've got a bunch of stuff on your roster. You should be in Kyber and Grand Arena by this point. TB wrote all the way, Rise of the Empire. TW, you should be in a successful guild. If you're paying attention to the game and you're going out there and finding a solid guild, you should be having a lot of success in TW. If you push too high, you might have flown too close to the sun like Icarus. Maybe you're in a really high guild and maybe you're not winning all your TWs because it's super, super, super competitive up there in the top 20 to 25. If you're not one of those top 20 to 25 guilds and you're a little bit lower, maybe you are being competitive at a lower level. Your raids, of course, you're in the maximum maximum raid. You're using those maximum teams in the raid, and your mods are going to be looking super duper sharp. If you sort by speed here on this late game roster, our Galactic Legends are all at the top. Hermit Yoda, look at that guy. He is speeding it up on that Jedi Master Luke team at what, 351 speed, bringing it out, getting those abilities out there ASAP. Commander Ahsoka is next. She is sitting with an extra 159 speed at 349. You've got your mods right in line. If you look at a Jedi Master Luke, he's going to have a lot of protection on there. Speed and protection. Let's take a look. Protection, protection, protection. Boys and girls, I didn't even look at these mods before I showed you. I just knew these mods are going to be in the right place. Your mods are in good shape. You're farming 6-dot mods all you can right here. Most of these mods, all the way down to your lowest level characters, are going to have 6-dot mods, not BB. I had to pick the wrong one there. Let's find somebody usable down here. Let's find yeah, General Kenobi's going to have 6-dot mods. He's the head of the negotiator, 6-dot mods. You got full 6-dot mod sets almost across the board on characters that you're using in fleets and on teams. It's everywhere. You're in really, really good shape here with your late game roster, but you still got a few things left to farm, like Inquisitors, Savage Opress. You don't quite have it all at this point. You still have goals you got to get. You're not unlocking everything day one, but you're unlocking stuff 6 to 9 months down the road, maybe a year down the road, but you've got so much in your roster that you're performing great in the game. And that is your late gamer. Let's pop an end gamer right now and take a look at all that glory that is the end game. The end gamer is a glorious beast. Kyber 1, Leviathan, Lord Vader at the top with a big, nasty data crown of 15% max health and protection, dealing damage to enemy no one's inflicting ability block, extra protection to give him as much health as possible, Hell Steel, 70% defense, big, nasty stuff from your end gamer right here. All 7 Galactic Legends. Reva is on the roster. You've got all 3 of the big capital ships. You've got Leviathan, you've got Executor, you've got Profundity. Everything is nasty, nastiness. It's crushing your soul. It's destroying your children. It's taking no prisoners. Not destroying your children. That's not really appropriate. But it is taking no prisoners. This is the roster at the end of the game. Need I look at mods? No, I need not, but I will. Health and speed, health and protection. Protection is what Jedi Master Luke Skywalker wants. Secondary, 13% protection, 9.83% protection, 2200 protection. All the protection you can handle on Jedi Master Luke. The mods are out of this world. Awesome. 340 speed on Darth Revan, Kyber 1. This person does not need your help. This person does not need your criticism. This person does not need your gaming. They are an end gamer, for God's sake. They still need to work on Princess Nisa a little bit, but that's a brand new character. And I don't see Dr. Aphra on the roster, so maybe this is it's end game teetering off. You got to get that Dr. Aphra done, but all this other stuff is just kind of extra stuff that they don't have on the roster. This is an end game roster. If ever one has seen an end game roster, a Kyber 1 roster, making it happen. All the best in Grand Arena. Kyber 1, the fleets are amazing. Rote TB, all sorts of stars in Rote TB, winning TWs, crushing the raids, already ready for Endor raid today. The mods are there. This is your end gamer. Boys and girls, that is everything we have. That is every roster you have seen from top to bottom. I should have brought this up initially, but I didn't. This is your new player, your early player, your hyper new, your mid gamer, your late gamer, your end gamer. And so I can make this work right here at the end of the video, I go back to the end gamer and I say thank you for tuning in. I love all of you. You're all wonderful people, and always remember, Nooch too good.